Ladies and gentlemen, old guy coming at you from Wisconsin today. We got a nice little Suzuki demo to go out on today. And the first bike we're going to take out is something that has actually been asked for. Plus, I'm very curious in regards to how this bike is going to be versus specifically the Triumph Daytona 660, the Suzuki GSX-8R. I've watched a lot of videos on this bike. I've heard good things, I've heard bad things, and I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Let's take a walk around of the bike, get a close up how it actually looks, and go over the specs a little bit, and then we'll get on the road. So the engine on this is a 776cc parallel twin, claiming 81 brake horsepower, roughly 57 foot-pounds of torque. This does have a 31.9-inch seat height. A little bit longer of a wheelbase at 57.7 inches. Which is, yeah, it's a little long. It doesn't look very comfortable. You do have a nice rise in the handlebars. Ooh, they already pissed me off. Because as I'm noticing as I'm walking around it, it does not have an adjustable clutch lever. Yeah, on a bike that costs $9,439 MSRP. We do have an inverted non-adjustable front fork, a 120/70/17 front tire, dual discs, 310 millimeter, 4 piston calipers, from what it looks like, from Nissan. It's the fun part about walking around a bike for the first time. I always enjoy it. You have a single rear shock with preload adjustability. You have a 180 55/17 tire. This is on par for the class. It's a 240 millimeter brake disc. A single piston caliper. Just getting a chance to look at it in person, because it does make a difference when you look at it in person. I don't think it's as good looking as the Daytona 660. I really don't. But it does not mean it's not going to be fun to ride. So let's go out on the road on this group-led demo ride today from Suzuki and see what it's like to ride. All right, ladies and gentlemen. 2024 Suzuki GSX-8R. Kind of did a little walk around and taking another brief look at it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's something. I mean, it does have advantages over the Daytona. I mean, you do have a quick shifter, bidirectional, which is something the Daytona does not come stock, but this is also $300 more, give or take. So from a seating position, and I am 5'9", 220 pounds, it's not uncomfortable. It really isn't. It's pretty good. Let's get a sound check on this. It's bassy. It's a 270-degree crank, so it's pretty good. I mean, it's got a comfortable seating position. I think the seat on the Daytona, just from the start, the Daytona 660 seat is more comfortable than this. I mean, it does have a full TFT display. All right, so getting off on the start. It does have a pretty good off clutch. I mean, when you just release, and I think that's because of the Suzuki's takeoff assist system, because it initially starts a pull and it raises the RPMs a little bit, which is really nice. And I can feel it too, because it raises the RPM level. That's pretty cool, actually. Especially for riders that are a little bit less, a little bit inexperienced. They can help them get going. Yeah, I feel that. That's actually pretty nice. I like that. Yeah, we got a pretty good sized demo crew here today. Hopefully the ride will be enjoyable, which I'm sure it will be. Last year I got to film the 8S, but I got to ride it, I should say. I tried to film it, but the video footage was awful. And I'm not going to release it. So the engine is very torquey. It's a torquey engine. I mean, this is 57, 58 foot-pounds of torque. And it comes in, it starts to actually pull about halfway through the rev range. I can feel the weight. I mean, at the claimed 451 pounds, it feels it. It has weight. And yeah, I kind of wish it didn't. I mean, I kind of wish it felt, I kind of wish it was a little lighter. I mean, honestly, this in full tuck, the tank is very small too, and it doesn't feel, this does not feel natural. You know, there's nothing to really grip onto. The tank is slim, and I'm not a big guy. I'm 5'9". I have wider shoulders. The handlebars are, I have heard people complain about the handlebars, the width of the handlebars is actually pretty good. But this bike is, it's less sporty than the Daytona 660. It is. It feels it. I am way more upright. Yeah, the downshift, the quick shift down is, it is clunky. It's very clunky. The upshift is smooth as hell, and I love that. But the downshift is very clunky. You know, honestly, this bike it's comfortable. It's got a very nice rider position, rider triangle. The seat is a little stiff. Yeah, it's very smooth. The upshift is super smooth. I do like that quite a bit. It's it's a very linear power delivery. It's not overwhelming. The mirrors are really good. I can see every single thing behind me. Got the MSF rider coach back there. I can see him perfectly. You got the Hayabusa guy with the blinkers on. There he goes. I mean, I'm not sure if I would take this over the 8S. I'm really not. I mean, I will get a film this year, I promise. I'm going to make sure the film's good to get the 8S. And kind of see which one of these, if I like this or I like the 8S more, because this rider position is more naked bike than it is sport bike. And I know it's not a true sport bike, but it doesn't ride like a sport bike at all. I feel like the Ninja 650 has a more aggressive rider position than this, and the Ninja 650 is a piece of shit. Sorry, it just is. Just getting a chance to feel the bike. You know, let's see if we can downshift. Yeah, if you downshift with the quick shifter, it's very clunky, and it doesn't feel super precise. The upshifts are precise. It's dead on perfect almost every time that I've felt so far. So far that's my biggest complaint, is the quick shifter. I mean, if you're gonna give me one, it should be a good one. I mean, if you use the quick shifter without the clutch with no throttle, no, it's still clunky. It's still clunky. Downshifting, I'd rather just do the shifting myself. I mean, let me put it this way. You will know that you like a bike or don't like a bike in 15 minutes. I'm telling you, I guarantee it. In 15 minutes, you will know if you like or dislike a bike. Things to change or things to make adjustments to, that's every bike. I don't care if you love the bike or not. River. I wish this wasn't a demo ride. I'd have more cameras on it so I can get more cameras, more view. It's an interesting bike. I don't know. To me, I get the TFT display is nice. That's great. It does have that. I really do like that off clutch, raising the RPMs. You know, helping with starting off thing. I don't need it, but I like it. It's a nice thing to have. You know, little things. You know, little things. There are things to like about this bike. There are things not to like about the bike. I mean, yeah, that's kind of like every bike too. There's, you know. Would this bike be, would I want to daily this bike? Yeah, I mean, I would. It's comfortable. I mean, from a riding down the road perspective, it's a comfortable bike. It's got good it's got some good torque to it. It's a little vibrational, but it's not terrible. But that being said, this is now a sport bike. It's just got fairings on it. This feels like a naked bike with fairings on it, period. That's it. The Daytona 660 felt like a little bit, felt more like a sport bike than this. Even being slower, the Ninja 650 feels more like a sport bike than this. I am insanely upright right now. This feels like a naked bike with freaking fairings on. And that, I don't know, if you're in the sport bike market, I want a sport bike. I want something that feels like a sport bike. Engine feels completely gutless between 3 and 4,000 RPMs. I mean, especially in the higher gears, like, you know, doesn't pick up anything, nothing, there it is. So, just a thing. Alright, so we got done. This. You know, again, it's a good looking bike. It is, and it's fun. I don't know, for me, as I'm riding it, as I ride it, it's just not as good as the Daytona. Honestly, I didn't even think I would like the Daytona when I rode it. But let's get one last sound check. Well, there we are. Now, ladies and gentlemen, 2024 Suzuki GSX-8R. Hey, for me, it's just not my thing. All right, everybody, stay safe, and as always, enjoy the ride. So turn your back